This evening, obviously September 24th, 7 p.m. This is a Historic District Commission meeting. At the start of every meeting, we read an opening statement. The statement is the qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants are used on file with the town and are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. The historic design guidelines have been adopted by the town of Sykesville in accordance with the Article 6B 8.06a of the Maryland Code and follow the recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. They, Sykesville Historic Commission, follows Robert's Rules of Order with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay, so obviously, last meeting we did not have a quorum, so these meeting minutes are from July 23rd, 25. And those that were in attendance, did you have an opportunity to review those minutes? And were there any questions regarding those minutes? If there wasn't any questions, is there a motion to approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2025.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So the summary from August 27th was sent out to the group, and that is in reference to the Act of 2025-13, which is a hanging sign and painted mural for the Moon Shadow Collective at 7611 Main Street. And it appears that the applicant is not available this evening or in attendance. And so we can discuss and make a ruling on this. Did you guys have the opportunity to review those, that summary? Those weren't present on the last meeting. So let's open up the discussion about the comments and see if we can make a ruling on this so they can move forward or not. Questions?
Did I read correctly, the mural is or is not in the commission's purview?
So it's technically not. Murals aren't in your purview, other than if they are improperly applied to something like brick and it would trap the moisture and deteriorate the brick. This is a cement block building. It's not going to, and it's already painted, so it's not going to have any effect like that.
So my question is since it's not purview of the Historic District Commission, is it anything that we can rule on, or is it a moot point?
It's a bit of a moot point. It is part of the application, so we are going to ask you to vote on the application as a whole. I know last meeting there was talk of whether or not you wanted to start including murals as something that you do look at in the future, and that will be brought in a future meeting agenda for sure.
Well, I think there was another question that was posed by the committee about is this a wall sign?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the arrow part of it, with their name in there, that could certainly be more of an applied wall sign. The staff's position is that overall this is a mural, not a sign. But if you decide differently, we could ask them. They seemed open to the idea of taking out their name and the arrow. And just
I think that, I guess, from my perspective, if the mural's outside the purview, it's outside the purview. It's just, I guess my commentary would be that, I tried to look at other like murals in historic districts and really oddly came up short. And I guess that looks more like a sign, looks like a kind of a modern mural to me. So, I think at some point we should kind of add that language that we can, because something like that really does fall in the purview of maintaining the aesthetic of the historic district.
Right.
So Kevin made a statement last time that this was not part of our review, but I still think that it should be in some part of review. And he said that he made a statement that, at some point a mural could be added to any building then, if that's the case. So it could be painted on the side of a historic building, of any of the buildings, And so I necessarily don't want to see that moving forward in our town, because
he did backtrack on that, and as she said, with the brick situation, things that can harm
yeah.
the facade of a historic building.
A lot of a lot of what you want to think of with signs is that it is temporary. This could be painted over easily and it's right back to a blue side of a building.
Yeah, but historically, it probably won't be for many years.
This is possibly true, yeah.
And then when it comes to the hanging wall sign, I think we had discussions last time about, the building sets back from the road, and so visibility is a main concern for this business. And with the perpendicular sign on the wall, it's not going to be really seen visibly that much from the road unless it's from one angle. And we proposed maybe adding a different language or a different sign, maybe to like, the gutter or the eave and some point, so that it's more visibility. So I'm not sure if that's still on the table as a conversation piece, or are we just approving the sign that is shown currently?
I don't have any details about if the applicant has gone down that route at all, so what you have on the table now is this sign.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie,
So does it mean if it's outside of our purview, then they, by default, can affect the mural? And in so doing, I guess I would argue that they probably have enough signage at that point,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think you could deny something based on too much signage. I don't
No,
think
I
that's a
was-
guideline that you could use.
Yeah, no, I was kind of referring to maybe the idea that, hey.
Oh, the big sign.
Yeah, maybe sign above the,
Mhm.
the door on the, but
do we know if that portion that's in the arrow, does that fit the,
Size requirements?
the size requirements if it were, to fall under the, what's it called, the applied wall sign, the signboard area? Because obviously that building doesn't truly have a signboard area.
Yeah, I don't think I have any
Okay.
size for that Moonshadow Collective arrow, so I'm not sure.
So I'm thinking this is a two segment sort of thing. In my personal opinion, I think the sign that they have submitted is fine. It follows the regulations and guidelines of other signs that we see within the district. I would be open to maybe a different sort of signage, potentially, if a mural is not added to the wall. And I personally think that a mural is not needed in this location, even though it's not part of our purview. So I don't know how we roll on that. I necessarily don't want to say we approve the entire package.
I'm a little confused because, so we're saying that the mural's out of question, so we just gotta stop doing that. We gotta talk about just the signage at that point. And
So
it's-
the only part of the mural that could possibly be an applied wall sign is that arrow.
But didn't you say the staff was saying?
The staff
that they
is
don't-
saying this is the entire thing is a
So I guess we
mural.
need to establish that you're saying that the mural is not part of anything we can talk about or discuss. It's in the application, but we don't have any say in it. So then we're just saying the sign is okay because it follows all the guidelines of the HTC. We can move on.
If you all decide that this arrow is an applied wall sign, then
So we can rule on whether the Moonshadow Collective arrow is a wall sign.
really just the arrow, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would be hesitant to say it's not, just because that opens Pandora's box of you can paint a big sign for your business on the side of any building in town.
Well, she
You know.
just said they can't. All right.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, but I
like
also
just
think
the
that's not
arrow.
correct either. And I think a little bit of context. I know we don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about the 1950 CMU block wall that's painted a dark blue and
Yeah,
a corner.
Right.
You get, there's a little context to it, and then to say that it's doing anything for the main street situation when it's off of the block and it's off of everything. And then we're talking about a mural that we're not allowed to talk about. I just think we're kind of going down a rabbit hole we don't really need to, but that's where I'm at with this. I also was here last month talking about this for 30 minutes, so.
Right. I would more say that if that portion constrains to the signboard section, then I don't think there's a discussion, you know what I mean? Like if it meets the constraints that a normal signboard area would.
You're talking about the arrow.
Just that portion.
Just that,
That's all
Yeah.
we're allowed to do.
okay.
So then they could keep the arrow, take out the Moon Shadow Collective, it points you to their door, the sign's there, and then when all this goes away.
I mean, they could potentially keep all the lettering too, as long as it fits like the guidelines and what the guidelines, you know what I mean? Like, I just would say that if that was painted above someone's door, would it have the same scrutiny? Just
Right.
apply it equally throughout.
I think it's a slippery slope we're talking about here, as Matt said. Like, so,
Right, you don't want to go too deep.
no, I think we do need to talk in context in future meetings about murals at some point, but I think we need to exclude this whole conversation,
Right.
this mural itself, from the application here tonight, and just focus on the sign, and maybe as part of our ruling, say, we do exclude the mural portion of this because of oversight by town.
Because you don't have the purview
Because we
to
don't have the
approve
purview.
or deny it.
That's where I think we should, yes.
And I apologize for being late.
It's okay.
I think I had emailed to say that I was gonna press pause on the mural right now.
Would you mind coming to the podium for me, just because we're being live streamed to Facebook?
And I apologize if I start crying. My husband's in the hospital right now, so that's where it was coming from. So
Oh, wow.
I'm just gonna press pause on the mural.
Okay.
So just here for the sign.
That makes it easier for them too.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, is there any questions on the sign?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the sign?
I'll make a motion to approve application 2025-13 for a hanging sign for the Moon Shadow Collective at 7611 Main Street.
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you so much. Hope your husband's okay.
I just, if you don't mind, I'm just.
You don't have to hang out.
Good luck.
Okay. All right, second application, can you bring up the agenda item number? Is 2025-14 for hanging business sign at 7526 Main Street. So applicants are here this evening. If someone would like to come to the podium, answer any questions, or you can tag team it.
And real quick, before we do that, I just want to go through Kevin's little summary for you, like
Yes.
he has been doing.
Mhm.
So the request is for a 24-inch diameter, two-sided multicolor sign with their business name. It'll be made from the high-density urethane material that almost all the other signs are made out of. It will hang only 5.8 inches, 5.8 feet, 70 inches above the grade, which is less than the 8 feet that's required, but it is over more of a garden area, not an actual walking path. So staff is okay with the positioning and the fact that it's not going to hit that threshold.
Okay, my first question is what's the reasoning of the height?
This is just to mimic the sign that's previously existing on the
Yoga studio.
the yoga studio, just to kind of have the same exact symmetry of it. This is also measured from that elevated kind of garden instead of the actual floor itself, which still doesn't meet the 8 feet. But it's not necessarily like 5 feet from the ground. It is a little bit taller than that. It's just on that elevated surface. So the only reason is really just to match the other sign on the building.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Is there an enlarged picture of the sign? There we go. Okay. And there's no intention of lighting the sign or anything of that nature? Right?
No.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the sign?
Make a motion to approve application 2025-14 for a hanging sign at 7526 Main Street, Unit B.
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Easy enough.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. You don't have to stick around.
Okay, cool.
You can, but
You're more than welcome to. It's not going to be 5 more minutes, maybe.
You
yeah.
know what, we'll just wrap it up, why not?
Yeah.
We started, we will finish.
All right, Carrie, moving forward, is there a staff report for anything?
The only thing that I have is Oklahoma Avenue has been reopened somewhat. They are working on the crosswalk now that is between the post office on one corner and the other side on Baldwin, so that little area is closed up. Once that is finished, the plan is to repave in that area. So there's quite a bit of a dip when you get from the pavers to the asphalt. So that should be hopefully taken care of, and we'll stop launching cars into air.
Okay.
That remains a two-way street?
Yes.
Because there was some discussion earlier of that being a one-way street.
Oklahoma or Baldwin?
Oklahoma.
So there is discussion in the council about potentially closing it to be pedestrian only. Right now, it's going to remain open because there is another phase for the streetscape, and we're going to need it as a detour route when that happens. That'll be more towards like the January, February time.
What about, do you know if there's any update on the Historic District Commission or the Historic District signage? I know the History House was supposed to have some sort of grant or program for it.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're still doing that, the sign grant program or not. That was through the Maryland 250 program. I'll have to ask our curator. But because it's taken so long, I went out and took pictures of the misspelled signs, and I'm getting in touch with Shannon Baum to get us some new ones that are spelled correctly.
Cool. So we don't look like misspelled idiots.
For the past 20 some odd years.
Yeah. All right. Is there any violations or anything that we need to bring up, or any other items to discuss this evening?
I'm a little confused about the window sign language that we use and the percentage of the window, and then the window across the street from the tavern where the massage place is.
Pin up.
The window is completely covered. And I don't understand what we're doing.
I think the last time we spoke about it, we were going to talk about limitations on time period that those, window murals could be applied, and then the percentage of window that they could be applied to. And we talked, believe most of us were on this discussion about like the process and the temporary application of those signs for special events. Not necessarily that somebody could have it consistently all the time. So like, Pride Day or something, yeah, go ahead for a week or two, or whatever, Pride Month, go ahead, put a...
And you're talking specifically about the painted, not the
painted.
vinyl, or not vinyl, whatever that application that's permanent on their window is.
Yeah.
The painted, okay.
Yeah. Looks permanent to me. But I
So
don't know.
we'd like to get, as Matt pointed out, I think moving forward, we want to talk about murals moving forward, and we also want to talk about historic paint selection, and maybe a palette of approved colors that we think necessarily people could choose from, or options for them to choose from, in lieu of just leaving it open to anybody to just select whatever they want.
And that's how we end up with the Ravens purple building.
Yeah, for years and years and years.
Yep.
So,
I'll chat with Kevin when he gets back and make sure he knows this is all on his plate moving forward, and I'm happy to help him out, of course.
okay. Anything else? What about Warfield? Anything? Warfield? Nothing.
Nothing really.
Nothing.
They have their tours coming up.
Oh yeah.
Springfield Hospital Center.
Read that article.
Right now, their
Right.
tours are.
Tours.
Springfield Hospital Center, their
Oh, the
history group
tours.
is doing the tours.
They're completely booked, I understand.
Completely booked. If you go to the 5K on October, I think it's 11th, you can sign up for tour spots there. That's the only other place they have tour spots available.
It's the intern from Springfield Mental Hospital that's doing the
Mhm.
tours. So.
If you want to be exposed to asbestos and radon, I can just come to my basement.
Lucky kids you have. All right. Is there a motion to dismiss this meeting?
Make a motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion's adjourned.